Are you looking into visiting a Schengen area, Schengen zone? And perhaps you're thinking, well, which country should I visit? Well, I'll say just stick to one or two, depending on your budget, depending on your purpose and your interest. And of course, if you have very good history with traveling, you can stick to more than one country in your application process. So I'll share my personal experience. In this case, I'll be focusing on Netherlands. And unlike many other countries within the Schengen zone, Netherlands has a website that actually has a step-by-step guideline on the application process, and it guides you all through to the end. But of course, there are some things I learned that it doesn't hurt to add on the list, and so I'll be able to share that briefly. Unlike many other countries, Netherlands has a website which has all the information. That's netherlandworldwide.nl, and you can be able to get all the information there, and it's all clearly outlined. Now, let's come to the Schengen visa. Of course, the Schengen visa gives you the permit to stay within the country you're visiting for 90 days or 180 days. It varies on the type of visa that you're applying and the purpose of visa you're applying. So I'll be focusing mostly on tourism visa, and I'll just give you my personal experience. And so there's so much advantages and benefits of you having a Schengen visa. And don't have to worry about which country is difficult or which country is easier to actually get a Schengen visa. Because the truth is, as long as you're genuine, consistent, and honest with the application process and the purpose of your visit, then automatically you're going to get that visa. So in my case, there was a checklist that I found online, still from the website, and it gives you the list that you need to do. And of course, one was the application form. You need to fill that application form, your travel documents, and that's your passport, additional documents if you're traveling with minors or family, evidence of legal residence. In my case, I have permanent residence of Mexico. I was able to clearly state that to the officer that yes, I have permanent residence here, but I actually live in Kenya. And so something else you need is a photo. Remember the photo size, please remember the photo size dimensions. That one you have to be very specific. Proof of travel. Of course, they tell you to actually have a ticket reservation, and that should be either a return ticket or a one-way ticket, depending on what's your final destination, and that you have the necessary documentation for your final destination, whether it's coming back here or to your final destination. And so I was able to provide that. And then, of course, when it comes to ticket reservation, please just pay the agency or travel agency the $15 or $20 and get a legit ticket reservation. Don't cook out. Don't try to factor something. They're not that expensive. You can pay $15 or $20 and then you'll be able to get your ticket reservation. With hotel reservation, you can actually be able to do hotel reservation with booking.com, and that they provide free cancellation even to the final date. And so you don't have to pay anything in advance. And please, when you're doing hotel reservation, make sure to confirm that it's actually a free cancellation option. Otherwise, you don't want to pay for a hotel. You're reserving hotel and then they charge your credit or your debit card, and that money you don't get it. So means of substance. When it comes to means of substance, of course, they tell you your account has to have enough money to provide for your transport to and fro, and your hotel, and you're traveling around. But not always the case. As long as you can be able to provide a bank statement that shows an active account. They asked me for 3 months. I provided an account statement for 1 year. I didn't have in my account the money that actually is enough to take care of our hotel reservations and to take care of our tickets and to take care of everything. And so for me, I thought, well, maybe they will disqualify me because of that. But I think as long as you have an history and you can be able to show an account that has a consistency amount or at least some activity within your account for the last 3 months, that's what they ask. But for me, as I said, I provided for 1 year, and I was very okay with that. Health insurance. You just get health insurance with about $15 to $20. At most, you'll not spend $30 to get the health insurance, and that's one I was able to get just online. I just went online and I was able to search the legit health insurance to travel within the Schengen zone, and I was able to get one. I paid about 18 euros, which I think is about 22 with the current rate, $22. And of course, the payment, other countries they will tell you to pay or do the bank deposit way before, but at least in this case with Netherlands embassy in Mexico City, they actually accept cash, or you can be able to pay with credit or debit card at the consulate on the day of the appointment. So they just submit all the documentations and you are able to pay at the end, and what they give you is just a receipt. They don't tell you whether your visa is qualified or not. So, and I would say do your homework. Just get to know where you want to visit and what you want to do. Don't overwrite, don't overthink, just be as brief as possible. You could possibly choose one or two things that you want to do and just stick to that, and doesn't hurt, because by the end of the day, the more things you list, the more resources that you need. And so you need to also to be very realistic with the intention and the purpose of your visit. So before you start the whole process, first check if you actually need a visa, because there are some countries that are exempted from applying for visa. You can be able to just go with your passport. But of course, it's good to do the due diligence and find out if you need one. Then you need to gather all the documentations that you need, and this will be guided by the purpose of your travel. And I'll be able to share mine, especially because I'm looking at Netherlands as the destination. Over and above the requirements, I actually added a cover letter to my application. And this was actually on top of everything to make sure it summarizes everything. In 2 paragraphs, I was able to state my request for them to grant me a visa, for how long, who am I traveling with, and also just what I want to do when I visit Netherlands. So within 2 paragraphs, I was able to summarize everything, just in case sometimes they don't get to go through the documentation, or it gives just the entire picture and summarizes it. So for my case, I was able just to focus on 3 activities, and that is, I said I wanted to enjoy the canal cruise, I wanted to visit the famous Dam Square, and finally I said I wanted to enjoy the pop on and off bus tour. And so just basically those 3 things. And of course I'm asking for 3 days because I didn't feel I want to crowd so much my days and to look like I'm overambitious in my travel. No, I just want to focus on few things that I want to do. And of course, I'll be able to do a few more things, travel a little bit around and all that. One advantage with the Schengen countries is that they allow third-party sponsorship. And of course, if you have a contact person who resides there or someone who is willing to sponsor you, then you can be able to make use of that contact. For example, if you don't have very good finance records or you don't have accommodation, you can be able to actually ask somebody to help you with the reservation. You can be able to ask somebody who you know to accommodate you, and you can be able to ask that person, that party, to actually prove a letter of saying that they will support you, and the bank statement. When I was thinking about how many days should I actually request, I was guided first with what is the cost. And I wanted to be very realistic. I don't want to ask that I want to visit for 10 days when I know I want to be there for 5 days, or request for 2 days when I know I want to be there for 10 days. And so guided by the budget, and of course you have to be very realistic. If you're asking for more days, then definitely you have to show proof that you can actually pay for that. With the Schengen zone countries, they ask you that you must have a ticket reservation, and also you must have accommodation reservation provided before you actually go for the appointment. And of course, when you start thinking about that, you can think, oh no, do I have to pay an extra full ticket when I don't have a visa yet? No, You can actually be able to get a ticket reservation through travel agency, and you pay about $15 to $20. And that way, if your visa is not granted, it's not so much lost compared to if you had bought a full ticket. With hotel reservation, you can actually be able to do for free with booking.com. You are able to do a reservation for the days that you want to stay, and with that you can be able to print the confirmation and make sure that you get a free cancellation option. That way, during the application, during the process of your visa, even if it's denied at the end, then you don't have to incur extra cost, or you don't have to worry, oh, what will happen with the amount that I've already paid. So with booking.com, you can be able to get reservation for free without paying an extra coin. Generally, with about $100 to $150 should be enough to actually help you to get everything, including the application fee for the Schengen visa. And of course, I was there about 30 minutes earlier than the scheduled time, and immediately I got there, the consulate officer was very ready to serve me. He picked all the documentations. Remember, with the Schengen visa, they don't tell you at the appointment whether you have the visa or you don't, because specifically the work of the consulate officer, you can ask few questions here and there, but specifically is there to receive the documentations and everything, and you make the payment, and then after that you are able to wait for the answer. So for my case, when I got to the embassy, of course I was able to be attended right away, but I had not read the passport photo guidelines. So I had a very nice photo, very clear, but it was big. And so what I did is I took the passport photo and then I cut it into the size that it stated, but that's wrong. So my passport photo, immediately the officer looked at it and scanned it. It tells me, wow, your passport photo is actually big. And it tells me, if you don't mind, then actually you can be able to go to this place and be able to get the right passport photo size. And I was very, very thankful to him because of allowing me to actually go to that. Otherwise, I know in some countries they can get rejection. You can get a rejection just because you brought the wrong photo size. And so he also asked me to actually take a previous visa on my previous passport and stamps of my previous travel, because he said that was going to build my application. And so I was very thankful, because you don't get that second chance to think, oh, you didn't need this and all that. So I would say, if you have previous travel, if you have an old passport that even you're not using, which has stamps or visa attached to it, just take a copy of all the visas and the stamps, and then have all the history of your previous travel put together, because it builds your case on the purpose of why you actually traveling, and that it's not like, yeah. So with the Schengen visa, they don't give you an answer immediately you have submitted the documents or not. You actually do the application and you wait like 15 days for you to wait to get to the response. And remember, the response is not whether you have or you don't have the visa. The response is actually your document has been dispatched, so for you to receive. And so you only get to know whether you have the visa once you have received your passport and you open inside. And of course, if they have not granted you, they always have a notification on why they have not. Of course, this one, there will be an outside, in the envelope to state or to give you the reason why your visa was not granted. So a week after my application, I accidentally cancelled my hotel reservation, and I knew I'm done, because in most cases they will check if the reservations that you have done are okay or not, are they legit, be it the transport reservation, that's your flight reservation or hotel reservation. So in my case, I cancelled my hotel reservation, and I knew, wait, I have just cancelled my hotel reservation and the application process is still on. I've not heard from the embassy yet. And so I panicked and I thought, well, this one is gone. I will not get it, because the moment they check my hotel reservation, they'll see that it has been cancelled. And so for that, I felt that was a mistake I did, and tried to Google to see, and I realized even other people, they're actually wondering about the same case, or what does that mean, or what does that happen? Nine 8017199. That's the number that I've been given. Actually, I was going to come and queue the DHL as you pick the package, but because sometimes you come and find the queue, so they send me a code. That's 980-17199. That's the code I've been given, so we'll see how it goes as I go pick. So here we are today. It seems there's no queue, so let's see how it goes. Just open it here, I'll not go far, so we can see if they have given me the visa or not. I knew that the moment I open here, I'll get my passport, and if there will be any extra document, then that will be a document stating the reason why my visa has been denied. And so the moment I was opening, I didn't know it was an envelope, so I saw this white paper, and of course there are some words here, and I thought, oops, that's the explanation on why my visa was not granted. But immediately I opened up, I realized it was an envelope, and I knew, yes, there must be something. So I checked inside, and there was no, it was just my passport. And so of course, when I opened, I was able to get my visa granted. That's my Schengen visa for Netherlands. Let's go visit Netherlands. Once you have your visa, then you need to check first the validity of your visa, and therefore that will be able to guide you on which period you should be able to actually travel. One thing you can always change is insurance. As long as you have not utilized it, you can always change those days, because they will ask for your insurance at the arrival, as well as your reservation and your travel plans. All, if possible, just book all of them early in advance to avoid any hiccups or to avoid any frustrations with the customs. I requested for 4 days, but they gave me 1 month, which I'm very thankful, because I can be able to not only go to Netherlands, I can go to any other Schengen country as long as I don't leave the Schengen zone within that particular visit. Because at least with the first time applications, it's wise and advisable to apply for single entry. Unless you are a frequent visitor or a frequent traveler, you can be able to apply for multiple entry visa.